everyone, I'm Wrong Rookie, and today I'm going to review all the games I've played here developed by Jussi Simpponen, aka Adventure Islands. I'm not covering Animal Arena and Poor Bunny because I already covered them in separate videos, which you can find in the description below. And they are very short games, so I don't have much more to say about them than I already said in those videos. With that said, let's get started. The first game is the one that introduced me to Adventure Islands games, Duke Dashington Remastered. Even though it says Remastered, it's impossible to get the original version because it was made in Flash and Adobe ended support for the Flash player. So the developer remade the game from scratch to release it on modern platforms like Steam and mobile. In the game, you play as this Wario wannabe, Dashington, who somehow causes ruins to collapse by stepping close to them and rushes in to get the treasure. Your only ability is to dash in fixed directions at the right time. You can't dash to another direction until you've dashed all the way through. Though for some reason it works when dashing up. Weird. Each level has to be completed in just 10 seconds. Touch an obstacle or fail to complete the level on time, and you have to start over. The levels are short and simple for the first half, but then later on, it gets more challenging with newer gimmicks introduced, so there's a lot of level variety here. I found this fun overall, and it reminds me that there are still gamers like myself out there who still want a brand new Wario Land game, Nintendo. The music is great, and I like the graphics too. But I would suggest getting the Steam version. I mean, this works okay on mobile, which is how I played it, but it feels a bit imprecise at times. The second game is Heartstar. From this point onwards, all the games I show here are based on their PC versions, in this case Steam. This is a short review because there isn't much to say about it other than it being remade from scratch, as it's based on the Flash original. You control two characters who have to reach the goal. When you play as the red one, the blue one and all the blue platforms become invisible and vice versa. So you have to work this out so that both characters reach the goal. The puzzles are very simple in design, so it gets dull very fast. As a result, the levels have no challenge, even the final levels. There aren't any interesting gimmicks in each level. The only things I can think of are some switches and some spike platforms, but that is about it. The worst part is that there is no music variety at all, so you're stuck with the same music in all the levels. At least the graphics are nice and colorful, although the colors are limited to just red and blue a lot of times, but that's fine I guess. Now that's not to say that it's a bad game, it's just that the game is too easy for my taste, so if you're fine with a casual-like experience, then go for it. But as for me, out of all the games that are at least covered in this entire video, this one is my least favorite. Total Party Kill, on the other hand, is a different story. You control 3 characters who each have unique abilities. The knight can use the sword to push and kill your other characters. The archer can shoot an arrow that can be used to push either of the two in the direction the arrow is shot and kill them. And the wizard can freeze one of the other characters and kill them. Man, I used the word kill a lot, didn't I? Well, that is the whole point of the game, because in order to reach the goal, you have to kill the party members that could serve as either a platform to reach higher ground or to leave a switch pressed. So the way the game is designed is for you to figure out which party member you need to solve the puzzles and which one you don't. And each one has a unique way of doing it. As mentioned before, the knight can slash one of the others to the other side where there is a spike wall. The archer can shoot at a party member to create a permanent platform, and the wizard can freeze a party member to create blocks to pass through certain areas. The level design for the most part is well designed with this idea in mind. It's very rare that you can complete levels with all the 3 party members. And because of the way the game is done, you only need one of the characters to reach the goal, unlike Heartstar. So, comparing this one to Heartstar, I'd say this one is a lot better gameplay-wise, as the level design is creative and there is a good challenge here. That said, it does create awkward points regarding the story because the killed characters somehow are brought back to life for every level. Almost makes you wonder what the morals are here. Do they just forget that they were killed by each other? The music is nice, especially the title theme, but again, I don't like that there is only one song that plays in the entire level, like in Heartstar. But the graphics are good here, so no complaints there. The only other issue is that near the end of the game, the levels start getting tough to the point that I had no idea what I was supposed to do to solve the levels. And apparently, it's possible to do some tricks to solve them that I don't know if they were intentional or not. I would have liked it if the developer gave some kind of clue to give an idea of what you're supposed to do in this case. But overall, I enjoyed this a lot more than Heartstar. Next up is Tightrope Theatre. You play as Chester, who gets an ad poster of this mansion called the Tightrope Theatre and decides to go there to get fame. Boy, does he get into deep trouble the moment he steps into the mansion. And now, you have to get him out. Your main objective is to move to the goal platform in each level using Chester's tricycle. You can only move left and right and jump. And judging by the looks of it, you would not be wrong if you thought the controls would be a bit slippery. Luckily, the levels are well balanced to make up for the controls, so I rarely face parts where the controls got in the way of the experience. Speaking of levels, this one has really good level design, as every stage has gimmicks that range from ropes acting as platforms to bouncing balls and water getting in your way. While a lot of the levels are straightforward, some of them require you to hit switches and get a certain key to unlock the gold platform. Not to mention that there is a certain timing needed to complete most of them, but again, I found this fairly well balanced. While there are no collectibles in the levels, you do get extra stages unlocked from the start, so if you had fun with the main campaign, you should check these out too. The only real con I can think of is that there are no boss fights. I mean, I can understand why there are no bosses in Duke Dashington, Heartstar, and Total Party Kill, But considering that the theater itself is a trapdoor, it's only natural to assume that there is someone behind it, only to find out that, spoiler alert, there is no one operating the mansion and Chester just gets out of there and stays happy. Overall, I like this one. The graphics look good, the music is quite catchy, and the gameplay is fun, although short. Now we come to the best games that I like the most, starting with Tiny Dangerous Dungeons. Up to this point, I covered games that are straightforward while mixing puzzle elements along the way. This one is a Metroidvania, where you explore the levels and find items that unlock newer abilities to get you to areas that you could not get to before. You start out weak, but then you end up with items that make you strong enough to beat the simplest enemies out there, like these bats. While the game may look simple, there are a few secret areas that you can find that reward your curiosity. There are a few collectibles you can get, like keys that unlock certain doors and hearts that increase your health. This ends up being really great, with the only downside being that there are no bosses throughout the entire campaign except the final boss, who is pretty easy to beat. Oh, and only one song plays throughout the entire time until the end. But other than that, I like this one. And I'm even more excited for it because the developer is doing a remake of this game, and I'm looking forward to it as I have wishlisted it already. I have saved the best for last, and it's Super Dangerous Dungeons. You play as the thief from Tiny Dangerous Dungeons, finding the treasures hidden in each ruin. But unlike that game, this plays more like a straightforward platformer and not a Metroidvania. To complete a level, you just have to find the level's key and use it to open the unlocked door. But just like Dashington, the levels get harder as you progress, and each stage has a variety of level teams, so you always get something different as you would expect in a platform. Of course, the game has no health, so one hit kills you, but since the levels are well balanced, I did not find it a problem for the most part. The thing I actually like about this one is that there are hidden paths in some levels that unlock harder levels. Doing these give you a certain collectible. I'm not sure if the game gives you a hint on which level is supposed to have a secret path, but I was able to find them all without a guide, so I don't think they are that cryptic. So while it doesn't play a lot like Tiny Dangerous Dungeons, I like this approach, as you still have to explore the levels to complete them. The music is upbeat, the graphics look really nice, especially the thief's animations, which put a lot of life into him, so there really isn't a lot to dislike about this one. And finally, the bosses show up, but you don't actually face them, they just end up being levels that you have to run away from them. It's better than nothing, I suppose. And if that's not enough, there are 2 more stages the game offers you from the start, just like Tightrope Theatre, and these levels are really fun. Overall, like I said, this one's my favorite of them all, and if you like platformers in general, you can't go wrong picking this one. Well, there you go. Those are all the games that Adventure Islands has developed. If I were to rank the 6 games, I'd say Heartstar is in last place, Total Party Kill in 5th place, Duke Dashington in 4th place, Tightrope Theatre in 3rd place, Tiny Dangerous Dungeons in 2nd place, and Super Dangerous Dungeons in 1st place. I like the look and feel that the games have, capturing the 16-bit era with the SNES music vibes to it for games like Super Dangerous Dungeons. But I don't like the replay value that only tasks you with completing levels in time attack mode, as that's the biggest criticism I found on almost all of the games here. If the developer is watching this, consider adding more replayability, like having to complete levels in 5 seconds in Duke Dashington, or unlock a harder mode in Tiny Dangerous Dungeons. That being said, kudos to the developer for remaking some of his games from scratch and making them available on modern platforms like Duke Dashington and Heartstar, regardless of what I feel about the games. I look forward to checking out more games from Adventure Islands, especially the remake of Tiny Dangerous Dungeons. But for now, I won't be doing much this month. I will, however, upload no commentary videos each weekend and upload some shorts if I can. Until then, comment down below if you like these long videos. In the meantime, thank you for watching I.G.T.V. Have a good one.